Aloha, good morning. This is Caron B Davis of Caron B Realty International, and we're very excited today. We have Travis Grand, who owns Shadeworks Hawaii Limited. And welcome, Travis. Good morning.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
And everyone's going to have to really listen today because, of course, I'm from Australia and so is Travis.
I've been told
Travis
to
is from
slow
the
it
Gold
down.
Coast.
So
Yes, we have to slow down our talk. Anyway, tell us a little bit about how you got to Hawaii, because you have a fascinating story also, how you got
yeah,
here.
yeah, I mean, I'll keep it brief. Obviously, I was born and raised in the Gold Coast, which is similar to Hawaii, and I grew up doing high-end boats and shades and awnings in Australia because we have obviously the most harsh sun in the world. So it's something we need over there. And we sort of moved over here, and I was like, wow, I could continue doing this and expand my horizons. So I sort of got into the roller shades industry as well. And I was originally an athlete, so I traveled the world paddling, stand up and canoe paddling. And so Hawaii is the mecca for that. So I came here originally for the sport and I ended up staying. I ended up loving the place. So I've been here 11 years on July 4th, which is a couple of days ago on the day.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You run a very successful shades business. And I just wanted to ask you a question, in sport, what characteristics in sports can you take over to business, do you find?
Yeah, it's incredible. Obviously, the dedication to become a professional athlete or a full-time athlete and win, to win the Molokai race, I think 5 times of the canoe and the stand-up. It takes more dedication than you thought you had or realized. And then when you stop doing that, you end up switching that dedication, I think I found, to work. You should probably switch it a little more to family, but you just can't help it. You sort of switch it to work. So because you're sort of still trying to scratch that itch of, I guess, always busy doing something. So it has crossed over quite well. The other thing is you also have the respect of people who know you. So they've like, oh, I've known this person as an athlete, and like I 100% trust what he's going to do in the business world because he's got the respect of fellow competitors, and it's a very hard field being an athlete. So I didn't realize all this. Obviously, I was being an athlete because I enjoyed the sport, but the crossover of the benefits from what you put in and the respect you have is twofold. So that's why the business has been successful, is from my athletic endeavors, which is, I want to just be honest with that. Like, wow, I didn't know that, but this is fantastic. So hopefully young people see, hey, if you're dedicated to a sport, bosses and people will see that. And then they go, wow, this guy's dedicated and talented in that. Like, I can't wait till he wants to be, dedicated and work. So that's what I found anyway.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm to the shades now too, the fun thing that you do now in your life. And I know, I personally had experience with you and you made the process so easy. And it was just great. So maybe you can tell us what people are doing right now and why they should consider, your services or other companies out there.
So yeah, Caron, you're right. Every house, that I've in Hawaii, at least 50% of the house needs some sort of shades or privacy. We normally have a sun issue. It's normally either facing east, south, or west as the sun goes around, depends on the time of year, or they need privacy from the neighbors. So shades is one of those things people kind of forget about until they've normally moved in, they've bought the house, they've moved in, then they wake up one morning like, oh my God, like we need some shades. And so that's when we normally get the call. And the trends for sure in Hawaii, everyone does normally have air conditioning now. You don't have as many windows open blowing in. Roller shades that roll up, like you'll see in some of the pictures. They're for sure the most popular. They last the longest. They're the most, I guess, the sleekest design, the most efficient. They're probably the best price point as well. And they're motorized, so you can just push a button, they go up and down. And then there's a lot of options you can have with fabrics and housing and motors. But at the end of the day, it's literally just a piece of fabric that rolls down, does its job depending on the fabric you choose, and then it rolls up out of the way when you're done with it. That's kind of all that I found that was sort of specialized in that now.
I want to, we'll go to some of the photos you sent here this morning, but I know one of the things that you're great at is, where do you spend the money on motorized versus roll up? Having a combination for people's house budgets and everything.
Yeah, you can still do the old school like manual or chain. Just so people know that the chain operation is becoming illegal soon, mainly for the choking for the kids, or kids can pull them off the wall with the chains they're hanging. So they're really pushing. All the companies are really pushing motorized because there's nothing that can really be a hazard for a child. or they do the easy lift or light rise or cordless where you can use your hand. But let's face it, a lot of windows you don't want to reach the ground, or you can't reach the very top. So very soon motorized is the only option, but all the fabricators and suppliers are catering to motorized. So they've got these amazing batteries that literally last a year, kind of like an iPhone. So you just have to plug the shade into a charger. You don't have to dismantle anything. You just have to, it's a little magnetic charger that plugs in. So you can charge your shade. If you use it every day, it should roughly last once a year. Otherwise, you hardwire it. So yeah, so the manual operation is slowly being phased out for a safety issue, but it is still available, of course.
Let's go to the wonderful illustrations you've sent to us to have a look at here now. Just here we go. If you'd like to just make some comments on some of these jobs that you've done.
This is similar to your house, actually, with a black fabric. So the black fabric shades, a lot of people they think they shouldn't do black fabric. But for me, I like it. For one, you can see through it. It actually becomes a feature when they're down, and it cuts down the glare. If you put a white fabric, the sun, like a white roof, like that's why roads aren't white. The light will bounce off, reflect everywhere, and get in your eyes. If you do a black, it absorbs the light. It doesn't heat the room up anymore. And then you can actually, it gives better, transparent, better light when you're looking through the fabric. So I like dark fabrics. This is a dual fabric. So there's a light filtering and a blackout. So that's very popular for bedrooms. You can have one down. This is a shapes. Go back to tricky shapes like windows at the top. Everyone hates doing these, but there is options to do shades that go from the bottom up on strings. Again, this is just options of units with just, high end. You can see the Valance is hiding them. These are all after the fact. These are all built after the fact. None of these have been built during construction, which is another option. If during construction you can build pockets to hide the shades, but if not, a lot of people forget, then you can just add them, like all these photos have all been add-ons after the fact. So it's the privacy for a bathroom. This is an external shade. So as you can see, this is the other thing we do. It's the same concept. It's just a bulkier, longer lasting hardware that can handle outside conditions. A powder coated head box. These have to be motorized because of the weight. They're hard to crank. This is probably the most popular product in Hawaii because we have so much sun. Normally everyone needs one of these on their house for the afternoon. I like external shades for that reason. Is you actually can block the sun before it hits the house, as opposed to trying to save it on the inside. Let's just block the sun before it even hits the windows. So this is a very popular option in Hawaii.
And then I'll just go top of this.
It is a few photos taken from the iPhone. Just again, all these are after the fact. These are open. It's an open roll inside a window, so it looks like it's meant to be. And then the next photo down is that raw fabric down. So it's like a waterfall. It looks like it's coming out of the ceiling in down to the bottom of the windowsill, and then you just keep scrolling down. These are the same thing. That's an external shade on the outside. These are the same kind of shade, but on the inside, another external shade.
This is great. What was this?
It's a custom wave shade. Again, a client didn't, it's the exact same fabric we're looking at, but we put it on the roof. So it stops the shade and you can retract it back. Doesn't do anything for the rain, but it was call them wave shades, slide on wire guide awning. Customer wanted it, so I decided to fabricate it. So I used to have a background in cover making.
Very neat.
I've done a few of them. Again, big external shades, stopping the sun hit the lanai. This is a Tahitian in the Gold Coast, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah, you can see right through. This is a dark shade again. You can see right through, and you can sit out there, as you can see where the shade stopped, the light on the ground. So it's beautiful. Yeah, so it's a 5% fabric roughly, or a 95 or a 97. It still, especially the darker colors, lets you see through, and it stops enough heat and glare where you still feel like you're outside. You can still be outside, but it's like wearing sunglasses essentially. You can still see out, but cuts the heat and glare.
No, they're just great. No, thank you for sharing all these different jobs. And I think a big part I hope people are seeing over this is how it really adds to the interior design of your home. I mean, it just, the color of the fabric, it has a functional purpose, and it's something that shouldn't be taken lightly. There should be some thought in working with a professional like yourself.
Very well said. We're trying to add value and style while having a function behind it. Yeah. That's the whole aim of the game, to add value to the people's homes.
Well, thank you so much. And thanks for being with us. And so are you going paddling this weekend?
Yeah, it's windy, definitely.
I
Windy's
know it's really windy. You're
that's
right.
yeah,
Oh,
that's what paddlers want. So
yeah. Oh, I know. Good
so
on you.
yeah,
Well, and we talked about it earlier this morning that I may even visit a job site so people can see how, what happens during a job. And I'd love to do that and show our audience one morning. Yeah.
yeah, no, if that's a good, if people want questions, I'm happy to. Obviously, most of our consultations are done at people's houses because everyone's got a different situation. So we normally go there and hey, this is my problem. What's the solution? And we normally give two solutions because sometimes you can say, oh, we could put a shade on the outside here and does this, this, and this. So it's better to actually go to people's homes and talk in real life because it's very hard to explain sometimes what they're trying to achieve, or they might not be able to know the fabric until we get there. We hold it in the window and say, this is what this will do, this is what it won't do. So yeah, it's best for us to come out there and
Right.
come to home and yeah. So
Well, we'll give you all your details and everything, and so people can reach out to you. But again, thank you for
fantastic.
talking this morning, and look forward to catching up.
Thanks, Caron. You have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.